Welcome to The Real Report, discussing key topics in real estate. Now, here's Jared Jones.
Good afternoon, everybody in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining. And from wherever you might be listening to this, to the show, The Real Report, I am your host, real estate aficionado Jared Jones, joined to my right, Gene Haffey as well. One of my senior realtors, been with me now for around 4 years, right, Gene?
Yes, and pleasure to be here.
And we're coming to you live from the downtown studios of 970 AM, shouting distance from UNLV and the Strip. And I can't say enough good things about the folks in 970. KNUU, the manager, Jim here, phenomenal host, and can't say enough great things about the hospitality that I've experienced here in 2 short weeks. But if you have questions that you want answered, some strategy concerns, some timing concerns, some challenges you're dealing with in your real estate situation, you can call my office, 496-5000, or reach us through our website, 4965000.com. If you have advice, if you need advice, or if you have input on any situation that you'd even like to see come up in a future show, I'd be more than happy to get your feedback. But we are on a mission here, as I've been saying, to talk about 2 of the major, most common problems that I see that seems to be a breakdown of homeowners, buyers, sellers, and investors. The issues that I feel kind of culminate to 2 reoccurring issues that we seek to deal with on The Real Report. And those shows, or those common situations can kind of be boiled down to both timing and strategy. Most of the time, we see those problems that come up, losses that are experienced, challenges that clients face that can absolutely decimate or set them back in their real estate pursuit based on timing and strategy. And we've got a solid information packed hours. We discuss 7 of the most common deadly mistakes that home sellers make that cost them thousands of dollars. As I said, my background is that I have sold approximately 3,000 homes, both to helping buyers and helping sellers over a 10-year career. I've owned over 30 units of real estate myself and still do as a very active investor, so I am very much exposed to the market, much in the same way that you are. And at the age of 26, I opened Horizon Realty Group, for which I still own today, 7 years later. We have 2 offices, both in Green Valley and one out in the Summerlin area in the west, just east of Desert Shores. So great, 2 easy locations for which to serve the valley, and the valley's been very good to us. And our goal is to seek to give back and make sure that we can inform you in any way we can through this vehicle of this show. But 7 deadly mistakes that sellers make, preventable mistakes, Mr. Haffey, that we see in the most common situations of real estate. We will encapsulate those today, cover those topics, enlighten the audience on exactly what they can do about those situations proactively, ahead of time. And what's funny is Vegas is probably 70% underwater, give or take. In fact, I saw a survey that said if you were to add up all of the home values of every home in Vegas, whether it has a mortgage or even ones without mortgages, all of those homes added together actually is far less than the mortgage balances on those same homes. That even homes without mortgages piled in don't exceed the monies owed on homes in Vegas. We are the essence. If you look up Wikipedia and define underwater, we are unfortunately in a state where homeowners are underwater. So your first inclination, you listen to the show and you say, 7 deadly mistakes that I could make as a seller. Who cares?
Don't sell right now.
I don't have thousands to lose because I'm underwater. How could I lose thousands if I'm underwater? You absolutely can lose thousands. There's opportunities and there's strategy mismanagement that takes place even when you're underwater. And we will cover even some of the most common mistakes underwater homeowners make that leaves them without having thousands of dollars in their pocket whereby they have changed their strategy, they might have actually put that money in their pocket instead of losing it.
Well, I think, Jared, right now that a lot of people have the misconception that it's not a good time to sell, and that couldn't be farther from the truth, whether you are underwater or not underwater.
Absolutely. We talked about last week about how right now we're in more of a unique time in the market that there is fewer homes competing against your home. Any real estate agent in the market that's trying to sell your home, when you look at what you can actually walk away with when you sell your home, what affects the price someone would give? The answer is supply and demand. Well, agents can't affect supply at all. So we can affect demand. We can create more demand for your home by having more buyers pointed in the direction of your front doorstep. So the more buyers see it, the more they're willing to pay because they know there's more buyers that want it because we directed enough traffic to create the incentive to pay more for your home. We can't, however, affect supply. And right now, there is such a low supply that supply and demand can be pointed very much in a seller's favor over other times in the past because we're experiencing kind of a micro bubble where there's just not a lot for sale on the same street, and homeowners that are paying attention right now are raking it in and making a serious load of equity in many cases. And if they're even a short sale victim, they're making the most of a tough situation and getting capitalizing on that because the market has low supply.
Well, and they're also reducing their liability if it's
correct.
So, I think it's a unique time too, as well as that it's still a great time for buyers as well, and that's even with the demand where it is because of financing and good rates and things of that nature. So it's kind of a unique time, in my opinion, what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. So let's get into this. Sellers lose thousands of dollars. 7 reasons that sellers lose thousands, and we're going to tell you how to prevent those. The first thing that comes to mind is picking the wrong buyers. Picking the wrong buyer cost sellers thousands of dollars. Some sellers think, hey, I just need to have a beeline path of a good buyer to my front door and I'm safe. When a seller wants to sell their home and a buyer wants to buy the home, you think you'd automatically have a deal, but you could not be more wrong. And these days, there's much more of a tough financial climate, and there is a lot more pitfalls that crop up, and new ones crop up every day. And in the mortgage and financial world, that when a buyer tries to buy your home, that either the loan they had can be fraught with challenges, or let's say appraisals even get in the way.
Well, and I think Jared, really go in and explain this, because this is something a lot of people understand that appraisals could be a problem, but I don't think they understand why they can be a problem and how it can be remedied.
Good point. Well, let's talk about this. Okay, so you have 2 situations where a buyer or a seller is selling their home. Okay, let's say you're asking $100,000 for your house to make it easy. And $100,000, let's say you have a cash buyer who comes in at 103, $103,000 over list, and a loan buyer comes in at 110. Okay, now you as a seller think this is a no-brainer, Jared. I'm going to sell and we're going to close for 110. But the reality is that every single time that you accept that 110 on your home, and let's say you set a fair price, you felt value was $97,000 for your home, so you set it right over that at 100. And the seller or the buyer comes in and wants to pay 110, and the FHA needs a property appraisal on that property, and they come and they say, you know what, we can only lend $98,000 on this property as a sale price. We can't go over $98,000 because this property just won't appraise. And it stalls the entire deal. Now, you had an offer from a cash buyer at $103,000, and yet so many times I see sellers jump at the first offer because it's higher. Higher is not always better. Now, some sellers may feel, hey, you know what, I just don't have the ability to interpret the difference. Well, that's what you are relying on your agent to do.
Well, and also people need to understand that if that deal doesn't go through, now your house is back on the market, you're back at square one, and you've left thousands on the table that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what else is that it's interesting when I see we just allow non-pre-approved buyers come into sellers' homes. If you're a seller, why would you let a non-pre-approved buyer into your home? ask your agent to make sure that they have pre-approved buyers going into your home. I mean, just simple as that. And I say this because we've become this nation of being, we had this HGTV syndrome where this person wants this home and they buy it and then they want to flip it as an investor. And so then they do all these open houses. Well, HGTV has sold the public that open house is a way to go. And so we think that this is a reality that just flips these homes really fast. But there's actually a 99% chance that you will not sell your home through an open house. So you're parading all these folks through your home. Most of them are your neighbors just wanting to see what color your carpet is and what color curtains you have up. But then to know that not only are they wasting your time walking on your carpet, they really aren't pre-approved, the rest of them anyways.
Well, we were going to speak on that later, but yeah, according to NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, 1% of buyers come from an open house. And so, what that tells me, just like you said, why would you let someone that's not pre-approved come into your property? But it's more so, it's even a security issue, whether they're trampling on your carpets. I don't want people casing my house.
Sure enough. When we get back, we'll go into the second reason why people lose thousands selling their home.